The last one I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to talk to you about wrestling because you talked to Vince Russo, and I watched your Vince Russo stuff, and I gotta tell you, as a wrestling fan from the '90s, it makes me kind of feel bad about how bad I've shit on Vince Russo because as a guy, when you were talking to him, he seems likable enough.
No, Vince is a great guy, but the thing is, he's kind of like. It's like, see if you're ever with your girl and you want to try something devious, as they say, you can't just go right into it.
Yeah.
And be like, so I thought I'd fuck you up the arse after we go watch Expendables 2. You interested? Because she would say, no. But so you've got to ease into it. So with Vince, if you want to talk to him about the 90s stuff,
yeah,
you got to do it under false pretenses of like, hey, Vince, I know you love classic rock. I'd love to ask you about Journey. But before we get to Journey, speaking of classic rock, tell me about The Rock. What size is his penis?
And then so he won't talk about The Rock's cock straight away. But if you can promise him Journey talk, he'll talk about The Rock's dick.
Oh, yeah. But see, hearing some of these behind the scenes rumors, like The Rock beat up Shawn Michaels in the locker room in a fight once, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like that's the stuff that makes you teenager brain. And then you hear about, not Vince Russo didn't tell me this, by the way, but you hear about how certain legends are closeted homosexuals. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you smell what I'm cooking.
Oh, whoa. Holy shit. Are you saying that this Rock parody could actually be true?
We gon' haunt them, we gon' suck their dicks off. We gon' haunt them, we gon' suck their dicks off.
That's not, you're saying that could, that's not him, by the way. Just some asshole on the internet made a thing where it looks like he's singing that.
That's just something that I randomly added at the end of the sentence.
Oh, that was an example.
Yeah.
Now, you just like to say that. That's like a catchphrase you have. If you smell what you're cooking, that's a thing you're going to do.
Yeah, I just so happened to mention it at the end of the sentence about a wrestling legend that's closeted gay.
What the fuck did you say to Russo? There's one thing you did like a Stone Cold impression, and you said like, that's my Bret Hart impression.
Yeah.
You went, oh, goddamn, son, that's my Bret Hart impression. Fucking, oh, that was a funny fucking line. But I thought it was great to hear you talk to him. And again, like as a 90s wrestling nerd, to like hear all those stories and everything else, I'm sure you almost forget you're interviewing him and just you're kind of sitting there with your fists under your chin going, continue.
Yeah, no, it's fucking surreal. Because one of the people I interviewed was a guy he's a filmmaker called Alex Prorais. Have you ever heard of that name?
Prorai? No. Am I right there?
Well, he's the guy that directed The Crow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do know who you're talking about then.
And he did like iRobot and stuff. And then I interviewed a guy called Jeremiah Chichik, who you may not know the name, but he's the director of Christmas Vacation.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and you just think it's stuff like that where it's just like, I can't fucking believe how this shit works out. And that's what I always say to people when they're podcasting. Because I do get asked a lot, how'd you get that guest? How'd you get this guest? And I just say, I asked.
Right.
Just fucking ask, and eventually they'll say yes. And once you sort of build up a reputation of people, it'll happen. And one day I'll get to interview a secretly gay wrestler or The Rock.
Or The Rock. Yeah, it could be the secretly gay wrestler or it could be Dwayne Johnson. We don't.
Yeah.
You'll take either one.
Yeah. I love The Rock. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Exactly. You had the Vince Russo interview. So I got the only ones I can get right now that Hughezy hasn't gotten. I'm going to get Scorch. I'm going to make it my life's mission now to get Scorch. And now, please tell me you haven't had my father, as our audience calls him, my dad, because tragically I look like him a little bit. Please tell me you haven't talked to Jim Cornette yet.
No, but I would love to interview Jim Cornette.
Fuck you, you can do it in 6 months. I get 6 months to do it first, and then you can talk to Jim Cornette. I'm not going to do this anymore.
I've heard that he is quite difficult to lock down at all. There's even big name podcasters he's turned down.
Oh.
So it's tough and it's a shame, but one day.
Well, I got in a slight podcast back and forth with his former partner, Kenny Bolin, and I shit all over him. Maybe that's my in. I'll just tell Jim Cornette, hey, I fucked with Kenny Bolin for a while. What do you think?
You know, he's another guy that I interviewed once, and maybe it was just a bad choice of words, but it kind of sounded like he said that he was attracted to underage Asian girls.
That's something that's been kicked around
Yes.
in those circles.
I hope the fuck that it was a he misspoke, but when he said it, it was like, what?
Yeah, I hope you're the one who started that.
Yeah.
I hope that's all because of you. Because I know we, for some reason, we got some crossover with people who hate Kenny Bolin. YouTube is a weird place. When you do streaming on YouTube, you just get weird crossovers sometimes. And we got one of people who really hated Kenny Bolin. So I went, all right, we'll check it out. And we shit on Kenny Bolin's show for probably 10 minutes. You know, just like, oh, this guy sucks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Played some clips people want us to play. He fucking YouTube strikes me. And the thing I love about YouTube strikes are as if they're deemed to be frivolous, they send you the fact that that person reported you and also what they said. And like Kenny Bolin's report on us was like, he threatened my children and my dog. And I'm like, I didn't fucking know you had any kids or a dog. The guy was a complete psycho about getting mocked for like 10 minutes.
I have a secret weapon that if I ever fall out or have any type of issue with Kenny Bolin, is that he used 2 of my clips during his streams, and I get 2 notices about copyright violations. So if I ever fall out with him, or there's that's the first thing I'm doing is I'm striking his channel twice.
Striking him twice. Fuck you, Kenny Bolin. All right. Well, then, hey, thank you for softening up all these interview subjects before they go slumming to my channel. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you giving us the time here, man. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you had a decent time, and you'll do it again sometime. I'll be honest with you. I think you gave us so much good stuff here. I'll probably put this up in clips and then maybe put the full thing out after all the clips are out, because it was just a lot of great stuff on a lot of different things.
Oh, definitely no problem. And completely sober, didn't get high or drunk at all.
You're fucking hilarious, too. Look at that. Hughezy Entertainment is the channel. Go subscribe. Of course, the link is in the description as well. It's Hughezy, Hughezi Entertainment. A lot of great guests on there. A lot of fun stuff. You got like a bunch of clips with Radio Gunk now talking about Howard Stern in your latest one. I can't recommend the stuff with Vince Russo enough if you're a wrestling fan. And I thought you and Carl worked really well together. So it's a fun channel you've got. I love it. And I hope you keep creating a lot of great stuff. And thanks for coming on with me.
Thank you for having me. And let's stay in touch and send each other shirtless photographs.
That sounds great. Only during fights, though, because that's when my nipples are the perkiest.
Yeah, and tag The Rock. Not that would have anything to do with what we've been talking.
Not that there's anything wrong with being The Rock.
No. I'm sure he's very openly proud.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors.
Of himself.
Yeah, good career.
Great career. Wonderful career. I would say that his career, I mean, he's worked with great people like Jason Statham and Vin Diesel, people I'm sure he's been very excited to work with.
Yeah, and every time he invites them over to his house, I'm sure 1 or 2 have come in through his back door.
Yeah, well, right, because they're big stars. So, you don't want to be bothered. Sure.
Yeah, and there's always all types of fisting, and kicking and stuff in his films.
Well, they're physically fit.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of sweat and just a lot of fluids in general. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to suck it up and swallow it all.
Yeah, I mean, if you smell what you're cooking, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.